Cool. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching live, the three of you and your note takers. Today is Friday, January 3rd, 2 o'clock Central Time. Some more people are popping in, and we're going to get started. This should be a pretty concise course today. Hello, Paul. We're getting started now. So let's do this thing. So today we're going to talk about using AI to read your conversations, score them, summarize them, pull out information to fill out fields and go high level, and then alert your client with an email with a score and a summary of the conversation. The reason that we do this is twofold. One is that it's easy to let AI read your conversations, so you don't have to, and it increases the value to your client, as you're going to see by the end of this course for sure. So this is something that's really easy to do. Hopefully everyone's familiar with Go High Level. It's the tool that we use for our CRM backbone for any conversational AI. Today's class is it doesn't matter what tool you're using to start an AI conversation. It could be Closebot. It could be built-in Go High Level chat. It could even be a voice chat. And I'm going to show you how to handle those different conversations. This is all really easy. All right. So let's get started. So on the right, what I did is I made some conversations using Go High Level. I wanted to make some random conversations that I can use to score. Okay. So there's a few conversations in here. I'm going to share this ChatGPT with you guys when we're done. I'm also going to use the ChatGPT to write the prompt for itself to do the scoring. I find that using ChatGPT to write prompts for itself is highly effective. Okay. So what I did is I just asked it to make me some conversations between two people. This one is about a real estate conversation. Let's say you had a bot that answers the phone at your real estate agency. People could buy or sell homes. So that's what this fake conversation is here. So someone chatting with a bot. They want to buy a home. So I'm going to copy this conversation and we're going to jump into Go High Level. So in Go High Level, what I did is I made I made a few extra custom fields here. So when you do this, you're going to want to make some custom fields too. You could say I have these three fields here: conversation history, lead score, and summary. This conversation history folder is what the AI is going to read. So if you're using Closebot, this would be the message history field. If you're using Vapi, you need to extract the conversation and put it into one of these fields. I'm not going to show you how to do that today, but just know that the conversation needs to be in a field so it can be read. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is this snapshot that I'm going to share with you has no context. So I'm going to make a really quick contact for myself. Okay. So I'm going to add a contact. I will say Steve Smith. And my email, I'll just use just a throwaway email. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to add this in here. Nothing else in it. No phone number, no anything. Okay, just a contact entry. And this is what your Closebot will do for you automatically as it has a conversation, or your live chat, your Go High Level AI, etc. If you're using Vapi, you're going to need to do this on your own with an external tool call, which we're not going to go over right now. Okay, so now that I have a contact, I've got my AI scoring folder here because I put the fields into folders. Here's my blank conversation history. I'm going to paste this fictitious conversation that I created over here into this field as if they actually had the conversation with my chatbot. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Okay, cool. So now we have a conversation history on a contact, and now let's start using AI to score this. Are there any questions before I get started? All right, let's do it. So I'm going to go to automation, and this is where all the magic happens here. I'm going to create a new workflow. So I'm going to do from scratch. And the trigger, workflows start with a trigger. Let's rename it real quick. We'll call it AI lead scoring. We're going to make a couple automations, I think, today. AI lead scoring. Okay. Save that. So the trigger here, I'm not going to add a trigger. You can have any trigger you want. If you're using Closebot, you can use a goals accomplished trigger. If you're using Vapi, you could use an end of conversation trigger. The trigger's up to you. I'm not going to do a trigger. I'm going to manually add myself to this workflow in a second. So all we have to do to make this work to score my lead, it's pretty simple. I'm going to use the action that comes with the higher end Go High Level account. If you don't have one, you'll need one, I think, to do the GPT actions, and you get billed by Go High Level. So there is a cost to this. It's not free, but the value of your lead is worth a lot more. Okay, so you can easily offset the cost. So here's what we're going to do. So it's going to ask me to write a prompt, and I said that we're going to use AI itself to write its own prompt. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT over here, and this has a few conversation examples in it already, but that's it. And again, I'm going to share this ChatGPT with you when I'm done. So I'm going to ask GPT, I'm going to say, I need your help writing a great lead scoring prompt for these conversations between the AI and the customer. And then since I know that the example I copied in is a real estate example, there's electricians examples here, HVAC, different examples. So you're going to put in your niche in this one part. So I'm going to do real estate, but watch, I'm going to go, the niche is real estate, because it's going to come up with specific scoring opportunities that are beneficial for real estate. So I'm going to say the niche is real estate. Please use predictive analytics, which is what this is. Predict analytics here to do your scoring. I want the score on a scale of 1 to 10. We're going to do a few of these promptings here from 1 to 10. Okay. So it's going to give me a prompt. And look, I didn't, what's nice about when you use ChatGPT to write your prompts, it brought in things like, since it's for real estate, how about factors like urgency, intent, budget alignment, and responsiveness? That's pretty cool. So it wrote this short little prompt for me. It's actually not that short. It's actually pretty short. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. It even gives me some example output here. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it into the prompt here. Okay. And again, I'll send you guys this prompt. Okay. I'm going to save that action. Okay. Now all you got to do is, this is so easy. Okay. Now the conversation has been scored. Now let's summarize it. I'm going to do another GPT. I'm going to say, please summarize this conversation for the client. And we need to add 2 things in here. So it needs to know what conversation I'm talking about. So the way I do it is, remember I made a custom field called AI message history. I'm going to go here, go to contact, custom fields, AI conversation history. So it's going to pull this. I need to do it in the above one too. Okay. I'm going to save this. Let me go up here and just analyze the conversation between real estate. Okay. So insert the conversation here. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to paste in that custom field again. Oops, did it work? Yeah, I'm going to paste in this custom field, contact, custom field, conversation history. We go at the bottom, sorry. Make this field a little bigger. So it's down here. I'm going to copy this and put it here under insert conversation. Okay, get rid of this period, save that. Cool. Now we have 2 GPTs. So now what we need to do is, I want to make sure that the fields that I set up, one's called summary, one's called score, is filled out. So that it goes into our CRM. So I'm going to make another Andrew, Craig, bot guy. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Craig. We're underway here. So I created 2 GPTs. One is doing the scoring. One is doing the summary. I'll share this with you when I'm done. Okay. So I have a ChatGPT 1 and ChatGPT 2. Now what I want to do is I want to update my contact fields. I want to update the fields AI lead score. And the result is going to be the GPT conversation number one, the response. That's it. So the response from the GPT, number one, goes there. And I'm going to actually let me title this for you. I'm going to share this snapshot when I'm done as well. Update contact fields was a update lead score. And I'm going to duplicate this action. Okay. And this is going to be update conversation summary. I already know it's ChatGPT response, but if you don't know where to find it, it's going to be here, GPT custom values, response number two, response. Okay. I'm going to save that action. So now I have my GPT is going to score the conversation. It's going to summarize the conversation. I'll put these in here for you so you can see the score conversation. This is going to be summarize conversation. Okay. Now, I know that it's going to fill out these fields, and now I know that I want to send an alert to my client. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say notification. I'll do a send internal notification, and I'll do an email. So here I'd put in my client's email, but I'm going to do from system, and the subject is going to be new lead. The from email is going to be from my domain here, Rosenthal Marketing. Okay, this could be whatever you want, but make sure you're sending it from your own email. And then to user, I'm going to do a custom email. I'm going to send this to myself for right now, but that's okay. So this is where you put your client's email right here, the subject, and I'm going to say, you have a new lead. I'm going to go date, and I'm going to go here and pick some custom values. I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to do time 8 a.m. p.m. format, time, and I'll do date. And I'm going to do date, day, month, year. No, wait, we do whatever, that's fine. And I'm going to do conversation summary. And I'm going to grab the number 2 convo. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I want to get the summary. So I'm going to go to the response for the summarized conversation. Copy this real quick. And I know that I'm going to do conversation or lead score. Okay. And I already know because we just did this, that this is ChatGPT 1 response custom field or custom value. So I'm going to do that. Save that. Let's save it. I'll call this send client email. So you guys have that. Now you could have as many notifications as you want. It could do a round robin. It can go to you and your client. You can push a message to their app if you want. You can do it to their, send them an SMS. Any way you want to contact your client, you can. I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to push myself through this conversation. Before I do, though, let's look at the contact I'm about to put through here. Any questions so far? Anyone? No? All right, let's go. So I'm going to go back to my contacts. There's one contact in there, Steve Smith, me. I'm going to open it up. Just so you know, I pasted this conversation here that I had ChatGPT write for me. I'll do another example using a completely different conversation, as we'll see in a second. So here's the conversation history. Again, if you're using Closebot, this is message history. If you're using Vapi or some other voice AI, you're going to have to import the message history transcript using an external tool, which I'm not going to do right now. But notice we have AI lead score and AI summary is blank because the AI has not done its work. So all I got to do to run this contact through an automation, there's a few ways to do it. I'm just going to add it to the AI lead scoring conversation. I'm just going to hit add, and it's going to send me through here right now. So if I go back to my workflow that I just built, I go on execution logs or enrollment history. You'll see that I've come through here. So look, it added me to the workflow. It did the number 1 conversation. It had to wait for GPT to return the response, executed, wait for GPT-2 to respond, update, update, update. So now if I refresh this contact here, you'll see that I now have a lead score and a lead summary. I think it did it reverse. It did. Didn't do it correctly. Okay, no problem. Let's see what happens. So let's see. Update lead score. AI lead score ChatGPT 1 response. Update conversation. Oh, I did the wrong field here. So I do AI conversation or AI summary. My bad. So AI summary is ChatGPT 2 response. So my mistake. No big deal though. I'm going to go through here. Summarize conversation, response, save action. I'm going to run this again. Here's another way to put a contact into a workflow. Do test workflow. I'll put there's only one contact. So I'll put myself through the contact. Give it a second. You can look at the execution logs if you like. It's going, it's waiting on this score 1 convo right now. Okay. So now let's look at this contact again. I'll refresh. And in the meantime, I got to open up my email down here so I can show you that I'm getting emails too. Let me just open that up. Yep. So check it out. So I got a new lead with a score of 9. So the reason is because the lead demonstrated clear intent to purchase a property. They had a specific budget, which is realistic. They articulated specific preferences, proximity to schools. They showed urgency. And here's a summary of the conversation. They're pretty similar here, frankly, the reasoning and the conversation summary, but you'll notice there's things in here like scheduling a tour for 3 p.m., their name, things like that. So right away, hopefully you all can see that just using a couple simple workflow steps, I've now created a much more valuable lead. Why is this more valuable? Well, your clients could pay attention to leads that are scored higher than lower, for instance. They could pass off lower leads to lower level employees at their firm, whatever you want. The other thing is this, I've also created an opportunity board, okay? So in my opportunity board, I have leads, hot leads, and cold leads. So what we can do here is we're going to add to this workflow, and we're going to start moving it around the opportunity board as well. So if I'm going to go to, I'll do the opportunity before I do the email. So I'm going to do update, let's see, opportunity, create or update opportunity, okay? So we're going to make an opportunity name. We're going to call it new lead. Opportunity source is going to be AI. Lead value, I'm not going to put a value on it because I don't know what that is for this real estate agent. The status will be open. And then I want to go on the pipeline leads, which I created. Okay. It's going to go into the new lead category. Actually, we'll do this. Watch. So this is going to be create new lead. So whenever and I'm going to move this to the top. So whenever anyone comes into this, I'm going to move this up here. The first thing it's going to do is going to put that opportunity into the pipeline and under a lead. Now what I want to do is at the end of the conversation, if it's a good lead or a terrible lead, I want to move it into the right column, okay? So after the conversation's over, I'm going to do an if-then. If, because I have a number for the lead score, right? So I'm going to do this, if-else. If, actually, before I do that, I want to double check something. So I want to go to my contact. I just want to make sure that my lead score, yeah, see, so the lead score is giving me a long sentence, which is cool and all, but I think I want to tweak that a bit. I need this to be a number. So I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to go to my custom fields, and I'll just look at these 3 here, AI lead score, summary, and conversation. So let's do this. So I want to tweak it here a bit. So I'm going to open up this lead score field here, edit. And I can't change the field type, but I'll do a single line. So I'm going to say AI. Actually, I got to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. So I want it to be a number. So let me delete this. No problem. Okay, so I'm going to make a new field. This time I want it to be a number. I'll do AI lead score. It's in the AI scoring group, which I created. Save that. Okay, no problem. So this is slightly different, this lead score here. So I got to just make sure that my scenario is correct. So I'm going to save this real quick. I'm going to refresh the page so that it sees the new field. Okay, cool. So now where are we? So this was update lead score. So I want to make sure, yeah, I got to reselect the field, AI lead score. I'm also going to tell the prompt. Oh, wait, I got to do, let's see here. Looks like you missed out on, what's going on here? Do that again. Add field, select field, AI lead score. Why is it not putting me ChatGPT response? Hold on, watch. So I'm just going to take this custom field and I'm going to go to lead score and I'll do AI. Oh, I see why it's not working because it's not a numeric value, I think. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so what I got to do is this is, darn it. Let me think here. It's expecting a text string, which is fine. So I'm going to do this. In score conversation, so I'm going to get rid of this reasoning. Let's do lead score. I'm going to tell the prompt exactly what I want. You must turn a number. Okay, save that. Copy this here. I'm going to update the lead score. See if I can get it to work. It's so weird. It's not letting me put a number there. All right, forget it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this as a number field and make it a text field again, but it's going to just use a number. No problem. Edit. Oh, sorry. I can't edit it. I have to delete it. And then I'll add a new field. It's going to be a single line AI score. All right, put it back in this AI scoring. All right, cool. Now I go here. I'm going to save this, refresh it real quick. So now this will work because it's a text field and it's expecting a text result, I guess, even though it's going to give me a number from ChatGPT. So here's lead score. So I can do AI score, and then look, custom fields are there. So that means I can do that GPT, the score. Okay. Now we got to run it again. So where were we? Okay. So to back up, when the lead comes through here, it's going to create a new opportunity in my opportunity pipeline. That's where we were. Okay. Into lead. It's going to go through and score the conversation, summarize the conversation, update the two fields. It's going to send the client an email. Then we were going to do this. If else, if AI, let's see, if build your own, select contact details, custom fields, AI score, okay, is, and then I could say, since it isn't a number, I got to do this in a janky way. So I apologize. Watch, we'll do this in one thing here. So I want to move scores that are above a 7 into hot lead. So I'm going to say if the score is 7, and I'm going to do or AI score is 8, or AI score is 9, or AI score is 10. Cool. Now I want one more branch. This is going to be over 10 or greater than 7. And this branch is going to be less than 4. Okay. So I'm going to do if contact details lead score is 4 or.
You just have a typo there. Should be greater than 7.
Oh, thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, I forgot. So what is it? Little crocodile eats the big crocodile. What is that? Yeah, like that, right?
The other way. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, little crocodile, big crocodile. Honestly, that's all I can remember from third
Math
grade.
is hard.
Math is hard. All right, cool. AI score is 4. I'm gonna do or AI score is 3 plus, or do it again. You kind of get the pattern that's going on here, folks. AI score is 2. And there's going to be 0, right? That's a really bad one. Well, if you don't have zeros, but I'm sure it could be. AI score is 1. One more. AI score is 0. Cool. I'll save this. So look, I got 2 branches, greater than 7, less than 4. So what I want to do is I want to update the contact opportunity, right? So I'm going to update the contact opportunity. And what I want to do is I'm going to keep the name the same. Opportunity source is the same. All I'm going to do is change the stage in the pipeline. So I just want to move it to, if things are greater than 7, it's a hot lead. If they're less than 4, it's a cold lead, right? Save that. And I'm going to do allow I'm leave this off. You guys can figure this out. I'm not going to get into that. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do create hot lead, and then a cold lead. And why do you want to do this? Well, at a glance, your salespeople, your client, whomever, can quickly see which clients are worth following up with and which aren't. So I'm going to duplicate this. And we'll do create cold lead. Okay. AI score, I want to move this to the pipeline stage, cold lead. Save this. So I've done this so many times, even though it may not look like it, but I know that this is going to work. I don't have a trillion conversations to run through here, especially poor conversations, but I know that it's going to work. So let's do it again. This time I want to do a different conversation completely. Are there any questions? No? Awesome. Let's go. So this is an actual conversation that I had with my Vapi bot. That's a self-selling demo, meaning you call it, it says, what's your niche? You say, I'm in real estate, blah, 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 and it does a voice demo for you. So that's what this conversation is here, okay? So I'm going to copy this whole conversation. I'm going to put it into my contact. Remember, we have our contact field called conversation history. Paste that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to save that. And I'm going to put this contact to go down here. I'll just add it to the automation, lead scoring, add. Okay. It's going to start going through the process. So hopefully this lead score now will have a number rather than a long sentence. And let's find out. I'm going to hit refresh. No. Okay, no problem. So all I got to do is, let's go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to say, okay, so I want the lead scoring to return a single number. Please rewrite the prompt. No problem. There you go. Copy this. Put it back into my score conversation prompting here. And don't forget, it's not going to know what conversation needs to be scored. So you got to make sure you're in here. Analyze a conversation. So I'm going to go, so I'm going to do this. So this is the prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a line, couple lines here. I'm going to do a conversation with a pound. So ChatGPT knows that it's a separate chunk. And I'm going to paste in, I'm sorry, I'm going to do the contact. This is the AI conversation history. So if you're getting a Closebot history, a Vapi history, any chat history, this is what it's going to look at, okay? Let's save that. Let's try it again. Okay, so now I'm going to go this way. It's going to be the same conversation, which is fine. So I'm going to send myself through it. The goal is we're trying to get it to just return a number so that we can run it through this lead scoring thing here, okay? I also know that if I go to my opportunities right now, there will be an opportunity. See, there's the new lead from me. There's no contact details in there because we didn't get too much into using GPT to pull out fields, but we'll do that in another class. But the point is, here's the lead that just came in. So what I want to do is I'm going to put myself through here one more time, and hopefully it's going to be a score of 7, and it's going to move me to a hot lead. So let's run this test. Give it a second to run. Go back to my contacts. Open me up. Refresh here. 6. Awesome. So I bet you that if I go back to my contacts or my opportunities, I'm sorry, it's going to move me to a hot lead. No, it didn't. Oh no, it didn't do me a hot lead because it's 7 and up, right? So it's not a hot lead. It's a 6. So I want to capture that in my contact summary. So I'm going to go to create hot lead. I want to do opportunity, lead name, new lead. I'm going to do score. And I'll put in the GPT. I'll put in the AI custom field for score that we made, AI score. I'm going to copy this. I want to do it on both of those actions. Do it for the cold lead.
Well, it did exactly the right thing.
What do you say?
Score of 6, and it didn't move it because
It did not move
it did exactly the right thing, is what I was saying.
Yep, you're right. It should not have moved it because it's not above 7. It's not great. It's not lower than 4. I thought it would be a 7 because of the last conversation. So now watch this. So now let's put a new conversation in here. See what happens. So now I have some existing conversations up here. Here's one for an electrician, an HVAC. Let's copy this code into the HVAC. Let's copy this HVAC conversation. Again, I'm going to give you all this ChatGPT. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to replace this conversation with this conversation. I'll get rid of this. Just for fun. Get rid of this. Save. Cool. Now I'm going to run this through again. Do my lead scoring. Add it. Give it a second here. And while I'm doing that, let me get my workflow going here so I can give you all your take-home stuff, your fun stuff. Okay, let's see. AI lead scoring. So this is what I'm going to share with you with everything in it. And when I get this video ready, I'll share this with you too. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you guys when we're done. Okay, and this snapshot. So now if I refresh this contact, I ran it through. Oh, my fault. You know why? Watch. Remember I said that I have this conversation history here. I'm sorry, I have the lead scoring here that is for real estate. So that's why this acted funky. So what I need to do is, watch, all I got to do is copy this thing here, the whole prompt. You can just do this. Say, I need to rewrite, and I'm in ChatGPT, rewrite this prompt for my HVAC business. Just paste it in there. Give it a second. So as you build your bots and your scores, there's a lot of testing that goes on, mostly testing. There we go. Yep. So I'm going to copy this, paste it back in here. Cool. Save that. Save that. Let's run me through again. Okay, cool. So give it a second. Refresh the lead. Meanwhile, I am getting a ton of emails here saying you got a new lead, etc. So that's working. I don't think this worked yet. Sick. 9. Ooh, that's a doozy. So why is it a 9? Let's see. Here's the summary. The client, James Carter, contacted the HVAC company because his air conditioner was running but only blowing warm air. He first noticed the issue the previous night. After confirming the thermostat was set correctly, the AI assistant suggested the air filter, which James had not yet done. Since the problem might be more complex, James opted to schedule a technician visit. The AI assistant booked an appointment with James the following day. Here's his phone number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to use that information in a minute, but watch. So now that we have it summarized and score, if I go back to my opportunities, I am now a hot lead. Cool. So you can see quickly this little workflow I'm going to share with y'all is pretty powerful, but let's make it more powerful. So now below my, here, I'll change the title as condition. We'll call it score router. But above that, I want to make a new, so I want to start in my contact. It knew information. It knew the phone number. It knew the address. It knew all sorts of stuff. So I want to have it fill out fields and go high level. So here's what I'm going to do. I have to go back to my automation. right here before it says a client email. You can put it anywhere you want, I suppose. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to zoom in. So here, I'm going to do, this needs to be another ChatGPT. Okay, so this is expensive, but again, you're replacing a person. So it's got to be cheaper than that. So watch GPT. So I'm going to take the conversation history. I'm going to say, extract the phone number from this conversation. Right. And again, all I got to do is do AI conversation summary. Remember? Oop. AI conversation history. It's history, my bad. And I'm going to do this one will be called extract. This can work with any field, guys. Extract phone number, phone. Save that. Now I need to set the field to the phone number. So I'm going to do update contact field. The field is clearly the phone, right? Invalid number. So I got to update it with the GPT extract phone number response. Save that action. I'm also going to tell it to and put it in the right. I'm going to tell the GPT to put it in the right format and put in the proper format. Okay, cool. So now all I'm going to do is notice this contact. There's no phone number, right? But it has a phone number because it's in the conversation. I saw it. We saw it. So now let's run this again. Okay. Takes a second to run through. While it runs, is there any questions?
I just have one quick one. Why do we have 6 and 5 left out when it comes to like the lead scoring between like hot and cold leads?
I just made that up. It's just, I mean, it's in the middle. So it's an okay lead. So I wanted hot leads to be rated higher, cold leads to be rated lower than average. You can be anything you want.
Okay, so like in general, you would segment out another one just based off of where you want to fit it.
You could do anything you want. I'm doing the segmentation because some clients might want to see hotter and colder leads. I don't always do this for every client. They want to see all the leads and they'll determine if it's a hot lead or a cold lead. But what I'm finding is that for bulk clients, if you could have something quickly kind of give it a once over so it makes their life a little bit easier, it's helpful. But most clients are definitely not going to want to, count on just the AI scoring for them. They're going to want to look at it, I think. But you could put in any type of segmentation you feel you need. You can do let's say it's HVAC and you want to segment by these people have a heating problem, they've got a air conditioning problem, whatever. By doing the proper prompting and pulling out the right data, you can do the proper routing. So let me show. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. So now watch. If I refresh this guy here, hopefully the phone number showed up. What do you know? So the phone number showed up. It's a fake number because I don't want it to be real, but you could see already the power here, folks. So I could take any conversation and start filling out goal high level fields with it. And if you could extract data, you could do whatever you want with it. I could have ran the number against a database to see if they're an existing client. I could have ran the number to see if it was a real phone number, anything you could imagine. So that's pretty much it for lead scoring, using AI to do lead scoring, conversation summary, and even one more thing, which is pulling out a custom value to sync up with Go High Level. Are there any questions? Any other questions?
Was it pulling out the phone number from the conversation or from the contact record?
Let me show you the convo. Oh, it's an invalid number because it's 555. So that's Go High Level letting me know it's invalid number. That's just because this fake convo that I had used a 555 number. That's all. So if I look at my conversation that I had with the bot, you can see it asks what my number is right here. So if it doesn't know the information, it clearly can't pull it out, but the bots tend to know if you say you're a receptionist bot, you're entering the phones, you're entering new leads, it's going to ask for their contact information. That make sense, Jeff? Cool. So as you can see, I could have pulled out their address. Let's do that too. No, I'm not going to pull out their address.
Yeah, I just wondered if you had to like actually ask the customer for their phone number in the conversation to pull it out.
If it doesn't exist in the conversation, it's not going to pull it out. So again, this is for post conversation. One thing that you can do,
With the bot, like is there a way to, because I'm really new to this, so I apologize if you guys already know, but if the contact is already in the system, could it like verify their phone number?
sure,
Could it
I could
look it
have
up?
done this. I could have done, watch, I'll show you. So I could have done something crazy here. Let's add an if then. I could have done if else. We'll do this phone exists. So what I could have done is if contact details phone
Is not empty.
right is not
Yeah.
empty.
Then
Yeah,
you can,
I don't think we have time to do that, Jeff, but the answer is yes.
yeah, this is what I was wondering. That makes sense.
Yeah, the answer is yes. Jeff's an advanced programmer, so he's a really advanced programmer. So all these cool advanced things like doing X, Y, and Z, the answer is always yes. I've never not been able to go high level to do something. It might require going out to Make or N8N or some other automation tool that can do things that go high level can't do, like HTTP requests, database queries, but you can always return back to this flow. You can go in and out of workflows. You can have workflows trigger another workflow. So once it's done here, you could have sent it through something else. I could have had a separate workflow, for instance, to extract the data. And another thing you can do is I'm listening to this conversation, folks, after it's over. If money's no object, you could be listening to the conversation the entire time. So every time the conversation history changes, I don't want to do that, but I could have made this history anytime that conversation history field is changed, meaning every time a new line item is put in there, it would run through this again and again and again. I don't want to do that because that would happen a lot, but that's called social listening. And that enables you to, just like we've analyzed the conversation, extracted information, routed it, did some different things and go high level, you could actually be doing that live during the conversation. So for instance, if someone says in Vapi, there's Vapi's voice, there's lots of ways to handle it, but even in like a Closebot scenario, if someone says, I really need to talk to someone, you could have your bot looking at all your conversations and determining if this conversation appears to be an emergency, then please, then you could send yourself a phone number. You could send yourself a text message. There are so many possibilities of what can be done once you're able to use AI to analyze these custom fields. Remember, it's this custom field here that I made. That's all it's doing. The possibilities are endless. This is a pretty basic class right now. I wanted to show you all the basics of taking the field, analyzing it, and saving it somewhere, and then doing something with it. Are there any questions? Okay, so let's summarize, and then I'm going to share everything with you all and paste it into this workflow, which I'll also share with you all. So again, let's summarize. So in Go High Level, we created 3 custom fields for our contact. One is conversation history, which is the entire conversation with the AI. This could have come from Closebot. It's called message history. It could have come from Vapi or Go High Level AI. Whatever the field is that's storing the conversation, this is what it's analyzing. Then I added 2 other fields called AI summary and AI score. I created a new opportunity pipeline with regular leads, hot leads, and cold leads. And then we used AI to do all the magic. So again, the trigger for this workflow that I'm going to share with you, there is no trigger because I don't want it to run every time. This could be any trigger you want, or you can run your people through here manually. You can run them on a goals accomplished from Closebot, conversation ended, Vapi, etc. So it comes through, it creates a new lead. Okay, it puts it in the lead pipeline stage. Let me save that real quick. And then what it does is it looks at the conversation history field and it scores it based on some prompting that I had ChatGPT do for me. I said, I need you to score this for me on a scale of 1 to 10 for HVAC, and it did something pretty cool. Then I asked ChatGPT to summarize the conversation for me. Okay. Really simply, again, here's this, summarize this field. Then I updated the lead score field with the response from the score. I updated the conversation summary field with the response from the summarized conversation. Then I extracted the phone number because I knew that it asked for the phone number. Then let me just change this title here, update phone number. So then it updates the phone number in the contact. Then it sends the client an email You can send as many emails as you want here. You can send it to you, custom, whatever you want. So this is who it's to. And again, I made this little form here. Here's the time, date. Here's my lead score. Here's my conversation summary. And I can even do this. Let's do this. Lead phone. Watch this. So I got to do, you have a new lead. I got to do name. So I know that's in here. And I'll do contact, full name, phone, because we're getting the phone number, right? So now I'm just going to get the phone field because it's doing it before. So now it's going to the client's going to get all this cool information without them having to do anything, not to answer the phone, not to do anything. And then at the end, we're routing into the proper column in our opportunity pipeline based on if it's greater than 7 or less than 7 or less than 4. And it's pretty easy to do. It just takes a bunch of ors. So that's kind of a hokey way to do this, but it's the only way to do this, I think, in Go High Level. And that's it. Any questions? I'm going to save this for y'all and put it in this group right now and share it with you. All right, let's do it. So let me open up my workflow. So first of all, what I want to do is I got to make a snapshot. So let me go to my agency view and I'll make the snapshot. Let's see, make a new snapshot. So this account, I'll call this AI class lead scoring. Sub account is AI lead scoring. All right, let me do that real quick here. You can have everything. Cool. So that's going. Now let me do this. Now I want to share this GPT with y'all. Create link. Copy. Okay, cool. So AI lead scoring. I'm going to say here is the snapshot. And I'll also in my group share the video when it's up. So if you're not in my Closebot group, in my school group, I'll put that in here too. The chat GPT. Okay, so here's the chat GPT. And then let me get the snapshot. Yeah, lead scoring, I want to share the snapshot. I'll get the permanent link. I'm going to get the link. Copy that. Okay, so here's your snapshot link. And if you're not in my group, let me give you all the link to my group here. So I'm going to be putting this up in the classroom. In my classroom here, in my school group. Let me put you. I'll put the link into my school group in here. If you're not in here, share this with your friends too. It's free. So here's the link to the school group, and then in the classroom, it's a draft right now because I didn't add this video in here, but this is where I'm going to put the video. So if you're in my group, you're going to get an email from the group letting you know this is out. You also can look in the group. Okay, so this is where it's going to wind up being. Cool. So now I can let me put the date in here. Let's see, Friday. Oh, there it's January 3rd. Tab. There you go. Cool. So now I'm going to share this with y'all. Share. Invite my secret link. You guys can view it. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so I'm going to put this into. This will be in the school group when I load it this weekend or whatever. But for now, in this chat here, I'm going to check that. Paul's asking. So here's a question from Paul. How do you check for a valid phone number? Good question. So in my GPT, I asked GPT. So here's the thing. The conversation's over. So even if it isn't a valid number, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. You're not going to be able to call. Well, you could theoretically email them and say, hey, your number's wrong, whatever, but it's not mid-convo. But let's see what I did here. So when I wanted to extract a phone number, all I asked it was, put it in the proper format. What I could do then is, I'm not going to do it here, but what I would have done, Paul, is I would have had an if-else statement. I would have done this. Here, I'll show you. You got 5 minutes. So I'm going to copy this. You're not going to have this in your account, but that's okay. Just so you can see. I'm just making this up as I go along anyway. So here, extract phone. So now that I have a phone number, we know that 555 wasn't a good phone number. So I'm going to do if else. Well, let me see here. Let's do this. When I extract the phone number, I put it in proper format. If the number appears invalid, do not make a response. So if anything, it will put a blank number in. That's one way. The other way is once I get the phone number, you could probably do an if else. That is if phone number actually don't know how to do that, Paul. I don't think there's anything you can do mid convo after the conversation. But what it would do is if the number is wrong, so when I'm extracting the phone number, I could say, so again, and leave, leave blank if improper format, if an invalid number. I don't know if it's going to work, but we can try it. I'll try it real quick. I'll show you how. I'm going to save this. I'm going to copy this actually. I'm going to get rid of this flow. Let me go back to this original flow that's on. I go to my phone number. Let me paste that in here. Okay. So now let me save that. Now let me make it an invalid number, which I'm going to do here under my contact. All right. So now I want to get rid of this number. And in my conversation history is where you can see the phone number. So let's put it something wacky like, let's do one missing digit. Okay. Save that. Okay. So if this works, if this thing here works, what it's going to do is, oh, Amanda, a little late. Hi, Amanda. The class is over. I apologize. But if you look in the chat, I put a workflow in here for all the ChatGPTs and the snapshot, and I'll be sharing this recording in a bit. Andre. What's up, Andre?
Hey, Josh. Would this technique be ideal for, let's say, you've got a report with a list of jobs to accomplish, and would this be the best technique or the best way to do it? Let's say to summarize the list of jobs, prioritize the list of jobs, and then set them in a workflow and then follow up. Would this be like the best way to do it?
I don't know if it's the best way to do it, but this technique of using ChatGPT multiple times, it's not cheap, right? So if you're only spend money, you can do all sorts of stuff. So if you're willing to write GPTs to pull out, extract, update fields, the sky's the limit. It just determines how good you are and go high level workflows, really.
Yeah. Because you know how it is. You could have like a list of jobs, but you never follow up with them, but you want your chatbot to be able to follow up and start conversations within the priorities, within that initial inspection report or whatever it is, right?
Sure.
This would be a way of doing it, right?
A tag. Maybe you could add a tag, use a new contact tag as a trigger, and you could manually add tags to things you need your employees to look at or whatever it is you're talking about, and then it would just run through this, put lists in the right order, fill out fields. Is that what you're getting at? Like telling your
Well, you'd only have to analyze it once per report, but once you analyze, you summarize the report, you put in priorities, well, then at least you could follow up,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Follow up. One might be really urgent this month, one might be in 3 months, one maybe next year, but
Sure. You could do it with opportunity.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do it with different fields and different columns in your opportunities. Contact. Anyway, you saw I broke it. This score routing here, this little widget here. I mean, it's pretty basic here, but you've seen me do other routing with ifs else's. So anything you could route, you could send down a column and go here, go there. I'm updating leads. So if you had people they needed to pull work, okay, call this person, call that person, and I would probably do an opportunity list.
No. Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Because I was thinking more like having like in Closebot, having one selling bot or follow-up bot within this, but he could refer to this report that's built once and then just follow up, within
Yeah,
the
that's why I love
guidelines of that
AI
report.
scoring after this. That's why I love to do this after the conversation.
Yeah, yeah. And it would be based on a data field because it's done after, it's not in a conversation, right?
Right.
So
Right.
the business builds this report, and then but to be able to do it, you need to summarize it in GPT if you want the Closebot to react properly, right? Like you always
Yeah.
said. So you
Yeah.
got to
So
summarize, and if you're going to summarize, and now you're putting in a score, that kind of, rang a bell. Why don't you prioritize it right away in GPT language, and then you could follow up. Then the chatbot, the selling bot could just like come kind of follow up with this.
you could. So even mid-conversation, you could be looking at this and changing fields in Closebot and changing fields that are attached to Closebot to make it start routing differently live.
Yeah.
The possibilities are really endless. It's just how many GPTs are you willing to write and pay for? But again, pawn the cost off to your client. If these
Well,
are
yeah, exactly.
your lead. I mean, what are you gonna spend $1? Who cares? I mean, it's not like $1,000. So,
No, exactly.
but this
And
makes
this
it
is all jobs that they're losing anyways. They're not following up. They're just building a report, handing out this report, and nothing happens, right?
Yep.
So, like you said, if it's like $1 every month per client that you're following up with, who cares, right?
I don't take into account my GPT costs unless they're a ginormous client because you're going to make it back off the price
Yeah,
you're charging the client, and the
yeah,
cost is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It'll
yeah,
be free-ish sooner than later.
yeah,
But it just sets you apart. So AI lead scoring sets your leads apart from the average lead. It's a way to be hands off, route the leads to your client. You could even take bad leads and give them to a different client. If he says, I don't want the bad leads, send those leads to someone else. You could sell them for a discount. The possibilities are quite endless. That seeing as you could have scores and pull out data and summarize conversations. So hopefully this helped you out.
yep.
Paul.
Yeah. Tanzella also was kind of doing my thing was just you're gonna need to do like a follow-up nurture lead. Because you're gonna need to have go high level, do the outbound because
Sure.
Closebot won't
Right.
is only gonna respond. So
Right.
you're not gonna be able to have just Closebot just follow up automatically unless you get go high level.
That's not accurate. That's not totally true. You
Okay.
could have Closebot follow up if you use this to trigger a Closebot convo. You could do that. It's the more advanced. I haven't done it in a while, but you could continue a conversation. If they're in live chat, that just goes away after 24 hours. But if it's or Facebook, and if it's an SMS chat, you can keep chatting with them forever. That's why I love SMS because you can trigger a bot to reach out to them. You can trigger a follow up. Because don't forget, if I send you an SMS and then they were like manually and go high level, they respond to it, the bot's going to pick up.
Oh, sure.
So
But that's after a response though.
Pardon?
But that's after they respond.
Right. So you're saying, so what I could do here is also rather than just emailing the client. So, okay. So what Paul's saying is rather than sending the client email, let's do this. I'll do this real quick. It's not in your snapshot, but I would send another email to the customer thanking him for coming. Is that what you're saying, Paul? Like, did you send them out a quick nurture email as they become a new lead?
Yeah, I mean, but basically Closebot's set up to respond. So if you've already done the response, don't we have to wait for the customer to respond again?
No, you could do AI off. It doesn't need to respond. So after it updates the phone watch, so send client email, I'll do another internal notification.
All right, so I maybe I just went on a rabbit hole. I thought what Andre was saying is he wanted Closebot to follow up all the time.
Might, but if
Not high level necessarily.
go high level and sends the message, and if they respond and go high and Closebot's still on, it will pick up the conversation.
Yep. I'm just saying it has to be initiated through go high level.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
a little, like I said, just went down a rabbit hole there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're right. You go high level is the backbone for all your chats. Even if I'm doing Vapi, I could have, it's an SMS. I wouldn't have a call, but I can do outbound Vapi calls. But yes, for you Closebotters, there's a bunch of ways to skin the cat. The way Andre was talking about is one way. And if you look at my Closebot group, Paul, I think you're in my group. I think you're in my group, but I have tons of other classes where I go over a ton of these things. I don't know exactly where or what, but I know that we talk about these things, and I'm going to be doing classes every week again. So again, I got to wrap this up, but I appreciate you all coming. Hopefully it was helpful for you, and I hope to see you all at my next class. So check out my group, check out Closebot, and y'all have a great weekend.
Take care,
Thank you, everybody.
guys.